Welcome all. Our today's training topic is API reference. API inspection reference for the rig equipments. It means the equipments which are installed in the oil and gas field or petroleum industry. So the standards for the API for maintenance and repair of that equipment. And today's our training day is day 20. Let's start the session. What API stands for? The API stands for American Petroleum Institute. It is an organization based in the United States and plays an important role in the petroleum industry. API standards are used to ensure safety, reliability, and sustainability in industries. Here is the main thing actually. And also these standards provides specific guidelines for design. So design means design criteria for a wide range of equipment and components. So API is not only advising the standards for the equipment only, but also the different and multiple components which will be installed and used in that equipment. So the equipment and all its components should meet with the API standard. Okay, the next is operation procedures, testing, maintenance and repair of the equipment used in the oil and gas industry. So now understand in easy language, the API, the American Petroleum Institute, has set some specific guidelines and procedure for for the equipment which are used in the petroleum industry, for designing of that equipment, manufacturing of that equipment, testing procedure, maintenance procedure, and repair procedure for that equipment. So when in the rig field or the oil petroleum industries and refineries, when the contractor or client, any company has to do the maintenance or repair or testing of that equipment, so he needs to follow the API standard, which is very specific to that particular equipment. Okay, so now see, the mostly API advises about equipment inspection schedule, while the IADC, International Association of Drilling Contractors, advises about the well control procedure. In many places in the next slides, we will see that API RP. Now we have learned that what stands for API, American Petroleum Institute, and RP stands for recommended practice. And somewhere we will see API spec, it means API specification. So there is a specific API some number which will be used for a specific equipment. Okay. Now here, this line is for the API, the red one, these all are the API standards, and these are their description. Okay. So, and there are a huge number of API standards, but here I have accumulated the API standards which is important to learn for a rig safety officer. So now see, we will see some standards over here. API RP54. So this, whenever we hear this standard, this is particularly for maintaining the safety in oil and gas drilling and well servicing sites. So this will explain about the safety standard, the promoting and maintaining the healthy, safe workplace for the workers, for the employees, and all the safety topics and all the safety stuff will come under API RP54. Okay, so when we will hear that API RP54, this API means American Petroleum Institute, and RP for recommended practice. So this is a specific number. When we will hear API RP54, we have to understand it is about this related to safety. Okay, now API RP54 provides procedures for promoting and maintaining safe and healthy working conditions for personnel in drilling and well servicing operations, and recommended practice for safety and health for oil and gas well drilling and servicing operations. For example, here I have written some few examples only: the derrick ladder, the platform, the self-closing barriers. All the safety related topics and elements will come under this particular standard, APRP 54. Okay. Now, APRP 4G, this is related to the derrick and substructure. Okay. Recommended practice for maintenance and use of drilling and well servicing structures, covers mast or derrick. The mast or derrick both are the same thing, and its accessories, and also API RP4G covers the substructure and its accessories. API RP9B, recommended practice on application, care, and use of wire rope for oil and oil field services. Wire rope, there are many kinds of, actually for many purposes the wire rope is used, but the most important is the drilling line. Okay, but except the drilling line, the wire rope is used for other reasons as well. The wire rope drill line is the most important, raising line and the guy line. Covers APRP 8B covers drilling and production mechanical equipment, hoisting tool, and hoisting tool inspection and maintenance procedure. For example, the traveling block, elevator, top drive, Kelly spinner, rotary swivel. It means that, for example, when we have to maintenance elevator, so a mechanical technician or the chief mechanic will not only do the maintenance, or any is concerned in engineer or technician will do the maintenance of elevator by his own idea only. No, he will have to follow the API RP 8B standard to do the maintenance of elevator. Okay, to do the inspection of the elevator. So this standard, what this standard is telling, for all the hoisting tools which are used in the oil industry, the concerned engineer or technician will have to follow that mentioned instructions and advices which are mentioned in that particular standard. Okay, so all the mechanical equipment and hoisting tool which are used in the rig or oil field or petroleum industries will come under this standard, APRP 8B. Now, API RP 505, this is standard for the practice for classification of locations for electrical installations at the petroleum facilities, class 1, the zone 0, zone 1, and zone 2. API RP 54, recommended land drilling operating and practices for protection of the environment. So when we have to do any thing about the environment related, we have to follow API RP 52 rule or standard. API RP 510, this is for pressure vessel inspection code. API RP 2003, protection against ignitions raising out of static lightning and stray currents. API RP 2201, procedure for welding or hot tipping on equipment in service. API RP 7L, it will provide the guidelines for the inspection and maintenance and repair for the rotary table, rotary bushing, rotary slips, rotary hose, manual tongs, safety clamp, master bushing, Kelly dry bushing, and Kelly hose. API RP7K, it will give the standards for maintenance, inspection, and repair for the drawworks, generator. Okay. API Bull 5C2, performance properties of casing, tubing, and drill pipe. API Bull 5C4, round thread casing joint strength with combined internal pressure and bending. API Bull 13C, drilling fluid processing equipment. API RP7G, drill stem design and operating limits. API Spec 6A, wellhead equipment. it means if we have to do the maintenance, inspection, installation procedure, repair of the equipment for the wellhead, how to install the wellhead. So the all procedure we will find, how to do the maintenance of wellhead. We will find all the procedure in API spec 6A. API spec 7, rotary drilling equipment. API RP 67, recommended practices for oil field explosive safety. API RP 68, recommended practice for oil and gas well servicing and workover operations involving hydrogen sulfide. If we have to find anything, if we have any doubt, we have to learn some things about the hydrogen sulfide in oil and gas drilling and workover field, we will go to the API RP 68. Aviation Department, the rig vessel helitech requirements and operation guidance. API Spec 13A, oil well drilling fluid materials. SOLAS stands for Safety of Life at Sea. Now, ANSI Z89.1, safety requirements for industrial head protection. ANSI Z88.2, respiratory protection. ANSI Z41.1, men's safety 2 footwear. ANSI 87.1, standard practice for occupational and educational eye and face protection. ANSI Z358.1, emergency eye wash and shower equipment, emergency shower. So ANSI Z359.1, safety requirements for personal fall arrest systems. ASME B30.7, winch, all the winches which are used in the petroleum industries, either that is air winch, hydraulic winch, electric winch, man rider winch, or winch cable. API Q2 5.8, drilling instrumentations, all the instrumentations which are used in the rig or petroleum industries. For example, the weight indicator, tongue line, pull indicator, hydraulic pressure gauge, pump pressure gauge, rig air pressure gauge, pit level. These all indicators, this will come under this standard. Okay. API 7L for the manual tongs. API RP2, recommended practice for planning, designing, and constructing fixed oil offshore platforms. Now, API Spec 6A, specification for wellhead and Christmas tree equipment. API 570, piping inspection code. API STD 53, cement piping. API RP 576, air compression relief valve. API STD 653, fuel storage tank. API RP 49, recommended practice for drilling and well servicing operations involving hydrogen sulfide. So earlier we have seen one more standard related to hydrogen sulfide, that was API RP 67. When we will talk about the workover and well servicing field for the hydrogen sulfide, when we will talk about the hydrogen sulfide in well servicing and workover field, then we will follow the API RP 67 standard. But when we will talk about the H2S related to the drilling and well servicing, then we will follow API RP 49 standard. API RP 53, recommended practice for blowout prevention equipment, it means BOP, for the drilling wells. So thank you very much for your time. These are around 40 to 45 API standards, or which are important for a rig safety officer to learn, because in the field it is required for him to know, because most of these standards are related to the safety of the safety field. So thank you once again for your time. Please like and subscribe my channel and share my videos with your friends and with your group. Thank you very much.